Tom and Zendaya are one of the most talked about celebrity couples in the media today. And recently there's been talk of an engagement. I wanted to see if this was a publicity stunt or the real deal. So let's get into this Synastry reading. So Tom doesn't have a birth time on record. I don't really know exactly where her planets fall for him, but I do know where his planets fall for her. First off, I'm going to look at the sun. And we can see that she has her sun in Virgo in the 7th house, which would be squaring his sun in Gemini. Sun sign compatibility isn't always that important in Synastry reading. We can say that Libras and Pisces don't mix, or Cancers and Leos are a bad pairing, but that's not really true in the grand scheme of things. We want to look at how they get along emotionally, the physical attraction, and how they interact, if they complement each other in ways that aren't surface level. Sun is ego. Ego is honestly the last thing we need when we are in a relationship. Sure, we need our identity and a sense of self, which the sun helps us understand, but we really want to see if the moon is compatible. Good moon compatibility and Venus compatibility is important, and we also want to see where Mars and Saturn fall. If there's any harsh aspects to Mars or the moon or Venus and Mars, we have a bit of a problem. So let's see. Her sun is squaring his moon in Sagittarius, which means the way he expresses himself emotionally can be a strain on how she feels about herself and her identity. Having moon squaring sun synastry can make for difficulty in understanding each other. Zendaya can feel burdened by Tom's emotional demands. In this case, I believe Tom may not have much of a filter or say things that are pretty devoid of emotion to her that can hurt her self-esteem. Zendaya can feel the need to compete with Tom sometimes. She may point out flaws where he may lack organization or routine, or where he may not be taking care of himself. I feel this aloofness from Tom with this square aspect. His sun falls in her 4th house, making her feel at home with him. Very comfortable right from the start, almost like they grew up together. People can say that when sun falls in the 4th house in Synastry, the 4th house person finds the sun to be boring, but there's not much evidence of that. The 4th house rules family, home, comfort, emotional ties that bind us and hold us together. When someone's sun is in your 4th house, you feel strangely connected to that person, as the 4th house is an angular house, the root system, the ancestors. There's nothing boring about that unless you're looking at it from a been there, done that perspective. I mean, we are all entitled to our own way of looking at things, so maybe you can get bored with someone whose sun is in your 4th house, but really it's because you feel a sense of familiarity with them already. His moon is in her 10th house, reputation and status, so I don't know, people that have moon in your 10th house, you can feel like they can help boost your reputation in some way. So she feels like it's a good thing to have him around for meetings or anything having to do with her career. His intuition also may assist her when having to pick jobs or roles. She trusts his input and advice when playing a role. Needless to say, she likes having him around when she's filming or rehearsing or auditioning. He probably boosts her up and cheers her on, which is really sweet. But this is still a friendly placement more than a romantic one, almost a business partner like. Okay, so her Mercury in Libra is trining his moon in Sagittarius, which is a very good sign. They have stimulating conversations. They can talk for hours without getting bored of each other. They have a very playful back and forth. They probably make a lot of jokes and don't take themselves too seriously in the presence of one another. This is a very comfortable aspect. Tom can almost finish her sentences. He can read her face when she's in a bad mood, and she, in turn, can teach him how to have some emotional control in a non-judgmental way. This is a really good, friendly aspect that we love to see in Synastry. Zendaya's Venus in Cancer, which is sextiling his Mars in Taurus, is very sexy. There's a lot of physical attraction to each other. She loves his physicality, the way he does his stunts, the way he dances, his drive, his initiative. This is a very good aspect for romantic partners. The spark quickly turns into a wildfire. She feels feminine around him. He compliments her and showers her with affection and attention. He wants her to see him as a protector, which is really adorable, and I love that for them, honestly. His Mars falls in her 3rd house, which shows the mental connection is there. They definitely laugh a lot and have many inside jokes, but if a fight does break out between the two of them, she may find him to be the aggressor. She sees that he could be provocative in order to get a reaction from her. He may annoy her at times in childish ways. She may find his opinions overbearing and overwhelming at times. He's a Gemini sun with a Sagittarius moon, so I can understand that. I'm also a Gemini sun with a Sagittarius moon, so I know how that works. He also has Mercury there, doubling down on his ability to provoke and annoy her, but this is also the house of learning, and she does have her moon in this house. So she does learn a lot from him, even if he goes about it in weird ways. Her Venus is forming a sextile to his Mercury. She finds his accent so sexy, the way he talks, the way he thinks. It's just sexy and attractive to her. She could talk to him forever about anything and everything. This is a great love aspect. It shows that she does take in a lot of what he says and learns from it. Venus in Cancer needs to feel comfortable and understood. And as annoying as he can get, she still loves him and respects his opinions and tries to open her mind to them. His Venus in Gemini is in her 5th house, which is fun. This shows that this could be someone she can see having children with. Also someone that takes her out of her comfort zone. She loves how comfortable he is with his sexuality. And this shows that they can't really get enough of each other. Very touchy-feely, very playful with each other. She definitely loves how free he is. I think she always has felt anxiety to be perfect her whole life, and he's like a breath of fresh air for her, which is so amazing. I don't know whether or not this relationship was real or fake. I've seen the whole Spider-Man conspiracy that every Spider-Man has always ended up dating the girl who played MJ for promotional reasons or for press. But I'm not gonna lie, this feels real to me. Like maybe it started out as a fake relationship, but I really think they have a genuine connection. And this is a big one, we can't forget to look at Jupiter. And in this chart, since they were both born on the same year, a few months apart, their Jupiters are conjunct by an 8-degree orb. And that can happen. That's not what I'm worried about. In her own chart, she has Jupiter in the 11th house of fame and media, which makes sense for her. His Jupiter, on the other hand, lands in her 12th house. And let me tell you, 12th house synastry is no joke. 12th house synastry can feel intrusive because 12th house is the subconscious. It's all the little details leading up to the consequences. And there are always consequences. Okay, so I call the 12th house the house of karma. And I know you're going to say Saturn rules karma and Saturn rules Capricorn. So wouldn't the 10th house rule? No, 12th house is past life karma. These two had many past lives together because Jupiter rules expansion and the 12th house is infinite. It's space, it's the void, it's a black hole. Planets there get sucked into its endlessness and make it almost impossible to feel the effects of the planet. Jupiter is the planet of luck. So this may not be such a bad thing for them. If they share spiritual practices such as meditation, tantra, inner child healing, divination practices, trips to sacred sites, and energy work, they can have a very beautiful and alchemical relationship. But 12th house synastry is almost always destined. It's a fated house. There's a meaning to this, and most synastry charts that I've done on people, including myself, when your partner's planet falls in your 12th house, it can be devastating in the way that it ends. Not saying it's going to end. We can of course go against the grain as we have free will, but there is usually a very large hurdle or catastrophic event that makes you have to choose if this is what you really want. And if you don't choose, the universe will do it for you. His Jupiter being in her 12th house is a red flag for me, especially when it's conjuncting her Neptune in the 12th, which is fantasy and dreams. He can be hiding something from her that's pretty big, or vice versa, especially since his moon is in Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter. It's something he feels emotionally connected to that he feels like he can't share with her or partake in with her. It's giving weird vibes. But anyway, I'm gonna leave you with that. Leave a comment and tell me what you think about his Jupiter in the 12th house. 12th house is always so mysterious to me, but I'd love to hear your feedback. If you want to see your fave get read, leave their name in the comments. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't. I'd really appreciate it, and thanks for staying till the end of the video. See you next time.